Hi everyone, so today I'll be doing a review on a candle from a small business called the Gift Gala Shop based out of Texas. This is a returning scent for, I believe, the spring line. Anyways, that is a lemon pound cake. I mistakenly purchased this in a single wick. I was hoping to get the two wick format, but there were some issues with the website and the photos and whatnot. But anyways, the retail price of this candle before shipping or any discount codes is $21. I think that based on the price alone, you're better off going for the two wick, which I believe at the time was priced at $28. Another thing, this is listed as a 9-ounce candle. However, I'll pop it up on the screen either to the left or to the right. But when I got my order confirmation or that my order was shipping, it was listed as an 8-ounce candle. So either way, if you do the price per ounce, if you lowball it and say that this is 8 ounces, that is $2.63 per ounce, which in my opinion is pretty pricey. If it's 9 ounce, then the price per ounce is $2.33 versus, let's say, the two wick, it's marketed as 16 ounces. If I take that at face value, the price per ounce, if it retails $28, that would be $1.75. So just then and there, I'd probably go for the two wick versus the single wick, because also single wicks have some performance issues, which I'll dive into in a little bit. But anyways, lemon pound cake. Right off the bat, I knew this would be a scent that I would like because of the fragrance notes. The scent listed online reads a luxurious blend of lemon zest, fresh squeezed lemon juice, vanilla, and butter. And I do have to say, I pretty much get all of those fragrance notes. Surprisingly, I do get that slight aquatic feel from the fresh squeezed lemons or like the lemonade essence. All right, I kind of glanced over the packaging, but that's one thing that I really like about this mason jar. It's an amber mason jar. It has a screw-on lid, so I feel like it's very secure. You can repurpose this jar to store other items, or like, let's say you have like candies, you can put it in here and bring it out during Easter. But anyways, I like the font on this label. I like that there's a bunny there. It really goes along with the spring Easter feel. But I do have to point out again that the candle itself has 9 ounce, I guess, listed on it versus online when I looked at the item, it mentions 8 ounces and then it says 8 ounces, 2 inches by 2.5 inches with an approximate burn time of 45 hours. And again, the mason jar itself that I have lists 9 ounces. So I'm not sure if the burn time is 45 hours. Just keep that in mind that it might fluctuate depending on what the actual net weight is. Going back to the scent, I really enjoyed the scent on cold. It was a tad bit light though. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. But one thing about it is that I feel like this is a lemon pound cake that I haven't smelled before. I feel like it's very different. Like, it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but I feel like it's different from the other like citrus gourmand fragrances that I've tried before. So I don't think it's a dupe for Bath and Body Works' Ice Lemon Pound Cake, because I feel like Ice Lemon Pound Cake from Bath and Body Works, I have it right here. Those fragrance notes are sugary glazed icing, pure lemon zest, and fluffy pound cake. I think that the Bath and Body Works one has a bigger emphasis on the glaze aspect, and it almost smells a little bit like a store-bought lemon pound cake that's really dense. Still delicious, but a little bit denser. One thing that I have to say about this Gift Gala Shop lemon pound cake is that I feel like it's fluffier and a bouncier pound cake. Despite pound cakes, normally since they have a lot of butter, they're very dense and you take a few bites and you feel full, at least some people do. I feel like this is one that's very, yeah, I guess like very fluffy. So it's lightweight. You could have it, let's say, in the morning or for brunch, and you wouldn't feel weighted down. Despite that there's butter listed, I don't think it's super greasy. I don't think it's like leaning popcorn or anything. It's very much well blended with the fragrance. Lemon zest, when I saw that fragrance note, I thought, oh no, is it going to be a little bit too sharp? I feel like some lemon zest candles can lean a bit cleaner or overly like tangy, sour, and that's not the case at all. So another candle that this made me think of is Bath and Body Works' Sugar Lemonade, because obviously there's a lemonade note, but I think that the Bath and Body Works one leans artificial, so this doesn't make me think of it at all. And I think the last candle that I am going to compare it to is Caramel Sundays. I believe it's Lemon Pound Cake. I think that the Caramel Sundays, when I purchased it last year in the 3 wick, I thought that one had a really heavy emphasis on the like pound cake, like the vanilla pound cake aspect. And I feel like citrus was just like an accent, or I feel like it wasn't the main focal point. So I think this one, it's a nicely executed lemon pound cake. It's not overly artificial. I think that if you're someone who is looking forward to a citrus gourmand, you can definitely smell the citrus in here. I do pick up on that cake cooked aspect, but I don't think it's heavy or dense at all. All right, so here's an overhead view of my candle. Currently, I've had this going for 3 hours, and you might see some of the issues that I'm having. So because this is a single wick candle, one of the main issues that tends to, I think, afflict many single wicks is that there is a bit of tunneling. How I have kind of, I guess, mitigated it is I've been putting this off and on in a hurricane, and I have been burning this for up to the recommended burn time of 4 hours. However, because I've had it burning for a little bit longer, like a longer period of time, I get this mushroom top fallout in my wax pole. Now that hasn't changed the scent at all, but it doesn't look the prettiest is what I'm trying to say. And even right now that I've had it burning, you can see that I have a little bit of unmelted wax, especially right here. And that is because this wick is very slightly off-centered. And I think that with single wicks in a mason, like even in a mason jar or any type of vessel, any, I guess, deviation from that like dead center point is really amplified because there isn't another wick to help out, I guess, with that even wax pool and to heat up the vessel. So I have been putting this candle off and on in a hurricane. While that hasn't helped the strength and throw, I feel like that has helped this candle pull out in a shorter period of time. I'd give it maybe like within 3 hours it's pulled out. But anyways, no issues sooting. Then again, I feel like these issues are pretty common with single wicks. This candle has been tunneling a little bit. I've been mitigating that by having a longer burn time. But then again, there's also carbon ball fallout. You are, I think, able to like fish that out or kind of get like your wick dipper and try to get that out. But I just wanted to show you how it looks like without me, I guess, making it any prettier or fixing it. As far as the strength and throw, sadly, I can barely detect this in my medium-sized bedroom. It's been a little bit cold, at least cold for me. So the heater has been off and on, and I feel like the heater doesn't really help. It's pretty much like a 2 out of 10 for both of those instances. So it is very, very light. The throw, I would also give it about a 2 out of 10 because it's really hard for me to detect it unless I completely exit my room and then I re-enter. Maybe if I'm 4 feet away, I can smell the candle. So I feel like this from the start, it was light on cold. So I don't think that this fragrance is good if you buy it in a single wick. I would automatically jump to a 2 wick because this is a nice scent. But yeah, it just hasn't been performing. Granted, I have been burning this also in my sister's office. Now she has a smaller office space, and I think in her office space, it's about a 4 out of 10, not in a hurricane. And that's just because I think that these single wicks are better suited if you are using it as like a small space candle, as far as like, let's say like a powder room, a beauty room, a very tiny bedroom, or even a bathroom, which I don't burn candles in bathrooms unless there's a serious issue. Or if you want this as like a desk or a work candle that you're going to have right next to you. But anything I would say larger than that, I wouldn't recommend it. And of course, this candle doesn't linger in the air because it's not strong, so it doesn't really leave any lingering like lemon pound cake scent goodness. Even in my first burn, to go back to the performance or the burn experience, it always takes about an hour to get almost an even wax pool, but then the edges are really hard to fully melt. So I would say that if for some reason you do want to get a single wick instead of a 2 wick, I would always put this in a hurricane, or if not, like a candle holder or a candle sleeve. So yeah, overall, I would have to say that I really regret that this isn't in a 2 wick, because I feel like the strength and throw would dramatically improve. I haven't shown you already, but let me go ahead and do a quick side view. So I am like well below the halfway mark. I would say I have about 25% of the candle left to burn. There is some wax cling on, which might have been affected because, again, I have been putting this in a hurricane. The flames are a solid medium strong to, I guess, large. And there is the label, very pretty. It even like illuminates. So do I recommend this scent? I would say yes, but I wouldn't bother with a single wick, especially if you're like me and you're used to very, or not used to, but you enjoy very strong candles. I wouldn't recommend any of the single wicks or the mason jars. I would just say jump up to the 2 wick. And even for, what is it, the price of $28, if that's still the case, you're only paying what, $7 more. And I feel like, one, the price per ounce goes down, and two, I think you have a better chance of smelling it and increasing your strength and throw. So yeah, as someone who has tried a few citrus gourmands, I feel like this, again, doesn't reinvent the wheel, but I feel like it's different enough that it's worth trying it out. I personally really like it. I like that it's not super cake heavy. It doesn't have like a prominent glaze note like the Bath and Body Works one. It's not overly like vanilla pound cake like the caramel sundaes. It doesn't remind me of any Kringle candle that I can think of. Yeah, it doesn't remind me of like sugar, no, lemon sugar marshmallow, because that's a little bit different. Yeah, this I feel like is a good citrus gourmand to test out, especially if you like trying out new fragrances. And I would only repurchase this in a 2 wick, and I would only recommend this in at least a 2 wick. So yeah, that has been my experience. I'm going to give this to my sister because she obviously had better performance in her small office space. Otherwise, I'm bummed that it didn't work out in my space, but I think it's a good scent. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.